All right, everyone, welcome back to the BlastCast, your weekly look into everything that is Baltimore Blast soccer. I am your host, Brad Crossley, and we have a fantastic episode for you here this week. I have two gentlemen that, well, you may not know too well, so I thought it was very, very important to get them on the show so we can kind of talk a little bit about them and the important work that they do. Before we get into them, though, really quick, don't forget, come on out to TU Arena. We have 3 big games coming up in the month of February. We have Kansas City coming in, we have Empire coming in, and we have Utica City FC also coming in. So make sure you come to the arena, get loud. If you need tickets, BaltimoreBlast.com. Download our app on any of your devices, or you can also go to Ticketmaster.com as well and get your tickets. So please come on out to the games and be loud for our team. All right, with that out of the way, my two guests today, like I said, kind of do a lot behind the scenes that maybe you all might not think of when you're out on game days, right? And it's a very, very important work that these guys do here every single day. And with me here today, Coach Sergio, Coach Phil. Guys, thank you so much for being with me.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. Coach Sergio, I'm going to go to you first. So one of the big things that you focus in on for the team is obviously the strength and conditioning stuff, right? So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because that is a big part of obviously being an athlete, right? So talk a little bit about the differences that you put in place maybe pre-season and off-season compared to during the season.
Yes, in reality, when you play sports, you got to be strong physically, and there's so many aspects that you have to work on. You got to think about strength, you got to think about power, endurance, and also you must understand the modality because the physical demand for outdoor is not the same as for indoor. So I came from outdoor soccer, and I just have to make some adjustments to make sure that they're going to perform for the entire year at the highest level. But in preseason, basically, we assess all the players to know exactly where they are physically. We identify some imbalances, which means cause some injuries, and we start to work on prevention. And the first part of the preseason, we focus on strength and to make sure that they're going to have the foundation for the next aspect of the game, next aspect of the performance, which come after that, and to give the player the quality to perform during the game and without risk.
Okay. So kind of going off of what you just said, so you kind of bring the guys in kind of preseason, and they do like an assessment test, basically, right?
Yes.
And you kind of see, you know, some are here, some maybe here, and then you kind of make workouts specific to maybe what they need to work on.
Exactly. Also, we have a group with a different age. So we have a 23 years old, 25 years old, but we have players with 38, 39,
right,
which make us work a little bit more individually, because we've got to take care of each one of them in different aspects, and we can prescribe the same exercise and the same drill,
right,
and the same with the same load to everyone. So we got to make sure that we're gonna manage all the group and make sure that they're all gonna have the answer and they respond well during the game and through the entire season. So it's not an easy job because it's like we have like almost 25, 26 players.
right,
And but it's very important to understand that the method that we use over here and combine it with the Coach Bascom and Coach Neto and Coach Phil, allow us to have like an easy job, easy days, easy mornings with the players.
Very good, very good. All right, so Coach Phil, I want to come to you. Before we kind of get into some recent stuff, I just want to get the people to get to know you just a little bit better. So went to UMBC, right? Yep. Played there, right? Played for Coach Caringi over there?
Yep.
Okay. UMBC, huge powerhouse right here in the metro region. Tell me a little bit about your experience there.
No, I loved it. I had 5 years there. Played under Pete Caringi, Anthony Adams, who's the head coach there now, and Sam DeBone, the goalkeeper coach. Learned a lot from all those guys. And then actually graduated, played for a bit, and then went back there to help coach for a little while.
Okay. So one thing that again, doing my due diligence before I do these things, am I correct in seeing you played in Iceland?
Yes.
Did you? Yeah. You played in Iceland?
Yeah.
All right, so we got to talk about that for a little bit, because that's amazing to me real quick. So kind of split that in two halves. One, what is it like living in Iceland? And then two, what was the kind of playing aspect when you played in Iceland?
No, it's an awesome country. Where I was at, it was in the northwest part of the country, so it was surrounded by mountains. A little town. It was only like 2,000 to 3,000 people in the town, but everything revolved around the soccer team.
Oh, nice.
So it was great atmosphere, and the level was high. We played in the first division in Iceland, and then in between seasons, because that was in the summer, would come play for the Blast, and then head back out to Iceland.
So what was it? Everyone's going to want to know what's the weather like in Iceland?
In the summer, it's not bad. It's like in the 50s, 60s on a good day.
Yeah.
But the big joke is you can get all seasons in 90 minutes of a soccer game. It'll rain, it'll snow, the wind, and then next thing you know, the sun's out. So everything.
And what's the what's the atmosphere like over in Iceland? I mean, is it huge?
Yeah, and it definitely exploded there. It's always been big, and the system's really good. The whole European system. So all the way up through the youth teams, there's about 5 or 6 divisions, promotion, relegation. So it's a really good system over there, and level is high, and yeah, I mean, I think ever since the Euros when they did really well, it's definitely exploded.
Yeah, that must have been a cool experience playing in Iceland for sure.
Awesome.
All right, so now we kind of move more to the present here. Now you're here working with the Blast.
Yep.
Just give me a little sense of how this experience has been so far, working with Coach Bascom and Coach Sergio, Coach Neto.
Yeah, no, the coaches are great. I mean, they welcomed me in right away, had our meeting, and they essentially threw me right in to get working with the guys. Luckily, I was familiar with both Quantrell and Mike, so that made it a little bit of an easier transition. But yeah, been enjoying it. Great.
All right, Coach Sergio, I'm going to come back over to you. You kind of answered one of my follow-up questions a little bit, and that was kind of the differences you need to put into, especially our team, because this year we've brought in a lot of youth, but we also have a lot of veteran guys. So kind of you talked again a little bit earlier about specializing their workouts, whether it's the more veteran guys compared to the younger guys, right?
Yes, sir. It's a huge difference in terms of a physical demand, but also we have like a different characteristic of players. So we have a players that come with a lot of endurance. They can run back and forth the whole time, but they do not understand the game very well yet, just because they're young.
Right.
And indoor is a completely different game. So when they come from outdoor, it takes a while until they get adjusted to the situation, to the dimension of the field, to the physical demand. Outdoor, generally, the game is much more aerobic. This game is much more anaerobic. So that's why when you see the players come in and out like every 1 minute, it's because the fatigue level is so high, and so it's necessary a different approach with the young players and old players.
Right.
So basically, for the old players, we manage once they know how to play this game very well. They have been playing this game for long, so they understand the dimension where the ball is going to be. So the tactical also help them through the experience to manage the physicality. So for the younger ones, they're so excited about the game, they want to go back and forth all the time until they learn how to manage their own physical condition and perform during the game. So it's a big mix, but in the end of the day, that's the combination that we need to succeed.
That's great information. I don't know if a lot of people out there realize just what goes into all that stuff over, not just preseason, but also the course of the season. One other thing I wanted to ask you about was, so obviously injuries, right? So when players go down with injuries, we have a great training staff here with Heather as a head trainer. Talk a little bit about how you kind of work with her in rehabbing the guys and then getting them back to be able to play.
There's a good interaction. Heather's a wonderful professional, and we, talk every day about every single player. We're going through the injury process, And we understand that rehab program start with them, you know, they go to a doctor to identify what's going on. So then she start to treat them to make sure that they're gonna be clinically ready to go back to the field. And then we start the process. And that process goes through protocols to make sure that they only gonna start to play whenever we feel like they have a no risk of a re-injury or any type of risk for themselves. So it's a good process, but we work together very well. And I'm very happy to have Heather over here because, I mean, we understand that the season is very short and we don't have the luxury to waiting for 2 or 3 months to bring some players back. So we gotta work quickly, but at the same time, we must be safe.
Great. Yeah, that's really, really neat information that you may not get, you know, kind of everyday stuff. So, Coach Phil, kind of back to you. As I said, now you're back here, you're working with the team. I was talking to Quantrell a little bit about this earlier, right? So, goalkeeping is obviously one of the most important positions on the field, whether it's outdoor or indoors, right? Indoor, though, kind of a whole different animal, right? You have to be more than just a shot stopper, right? You have to be a distributor. You have to really know your positioning and the angles and all that stuff. What are some things that you've really been kind of focusing in on with Mike and Quantrell, specifically to the indoor game?
Yeah, I mean, both of those guys were mainly outdoor players. Mike has a little bit more experience in the indoor game, but Quantrell, just being here for, you know, the last year or two, is still trying to learn the indoor game a bit. And I mean, it is a whole different game, and it's almost a whole different sport being a keeper. But, you know, we've been working on distribution is the main thing, getting used to the angles with the walls, and just getting the reflexes and different movements in the indoor game.
Yeah, and I think, again, specifically maybe for us as well, is just the dimensions of our field, right? For a keeper, I mean, everything is just so on top of you. So that's got to be obviously something you're obviously keeping in the back of the mind of the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily here at NERC, the field's a bit smaller, so the dimensions are a little bit closer to the field that we're playing on. But yeah, definitely bringing in everything and putting pressure on them.
All right, guys. So just like I've done with all the players, I'm going to give it to you guys too. We're going to do some quick fire questions. All right, nothing crazy. All right, nothing crazy. But we've had some great answers over the episodes. All right. So Coach Phil, I'll start with you. All right. Favorite food?
Mahi mahi.
Ah, there's a different one. We've had a lot of chicken and rice, let me tell you that. Coach Sergio, favorite food?
I think Brazilian barbecue.
Brazilian barbecue, all right, I like that. Music, what do you go to for some music?
A little bit of everything, but probably like house music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like club music?
Techno-ish.
Techno-ish?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's a little different. Haven't had that answer yet. Coach Sergio, music.
Well, I grew up in Brazil in the 80s, you know, I'm 63 years old.
Yeah.
And I grew up with, listening to Elton John and the American music.
Oh, yeah?
And I love it, yeah.
Oh, very good, very good. All right, so superstitions or rituals, like pregame or anything? Do you like put your sock on first, you know, left sock or anything, or?
Nothing too much, no, especially, I guess now I'm almost more superstitious now I'm coaching than I was playing. Gotta have gum.
Okay.
Before the game, gotta have gum.
All right. Coach Sergio, any superstitions?
You know, I used to have it growing up, you know, but then I don't have it anymore.
No?
So I believe in God and the things. And
you don't need that stuff.
I don't need that stuff.
All right, so last quick fire question. Again, I've asked all the guys this. Usually you get 2 options, okay? But I'm gonna give you 3 options, all right? So Coach Phil, I'll start with you. Greatest of all time, Messi, Ronaldo, or Pele?
I'm gonna go Messi.
Messi. Yeah. Another Messi guy, all right. Coach Sergio, Messi, Ronaldo, or Pele?
I would not even put Pele on this list. Pele for me is
another level.
Another level,
yeah.
No doubt about it. For everything he did. Not only for what he did on the field, but the history of soccer and even in the United States.
Yes.
So when he comes to course, we know it's completely different.
Yeah.
And if you analyze technically, you're going to see the huge difference. Like both feet, high, good on the head, score more goals than anybody. warm World Cup than anybody, so he's ahead.
Yeah, I'm a Pele guy too myself. I was lucky enough I got to meet him actually a few times, so I'm a Pele guy myself. So, all right, guys, so thank you so much. That was pretty painless, right? Wasn't too bad. And hopefully we'll see you again, everybody out at TU Arena. Make sure you're coming out supporting the guys, and we'll see you next time.